Is Barry Bonds an autograph you should be investing in? Some say yes, some say no. I'm going to give you the full scoop right now. All right, hey everybody, welcome back to another episode. I am your host, Matt Powers of the Power Sports Memorabilia Show. Thank you again for joining me. If you guys can, visit the website, powersportsmemorabilia.com. See all the autograph signings we got going on. And also, give me a follow there on Instagram at Powers Autographs. And if you like this video, give it a like. If you don't, that's cool too. But I always appreciate you guys watching. So Barry Bonds has kind of been a name that's been thrown around a lot lately about buying his autographs, and is he going to be something to invest in? Is he Hall of Fame worthy? All of this stuff here. And so it got me thinking, what would I do here? Is Barry Bonds someone I would be investing in? And if I was, what would be the top 5 items I would get on Barry Bonds? Okay? So first off, before we start getting into the items here, let's talk about, is Barry Bonds someone that you should be investing in? And let's talk about a little bit of history with Bonds, okay? The deal with Barry Bonds is that his autograph value is literally tied in with whether or not he gets in the Hall of Fame. 100%, okay? Barry Bonds gets in the Hall of Fame, his autograph pricing goes way up. Okay, did he use steroids? Who knows, okay? This is not the video for that debate. But does Barry Bonds, does he actually pass the eye test? Meaning, do you think Barry Bonds was one of the best players of all time? And personally, I would say yes, okay? I think his numbers obviously definitely back him up, but I am a little bit biased as he did go to the same high school as me, so I kind of give him a little bit of a leeway there. But Barry Bonds definitely passes the eye test as being one of the best players of all time, okay? Let's just run through some quick stats with him, okay? Guy hit 762 home runs, okay? How many of those were good, clean? We don't know. This is not the video for debating on that. 22 years in the big leagues. He ended up hitting 73 home runs in 1 year. That year was just incredible, by the way. I mean, incredible. The guy was getting intentional walks with bases loaded. I mean, you're never going to see that. He was a 7-time MVP. Okay, 7 times he was the National League most valuable player. Made 14 All-Star games. He was an 8-time Gold Glover as well. I mean, just going back to the steroid talk, I mean, yes, potentially that's obviously going to help you with your strength coming up, but your defense, I don't think it's going to necessarily help you with your defense. But he won 8 Gold Gloves. He finished with 162.8 career WAR, so wins above replacement, which is the most ever. Okay, that's just incredible. But here, let's get into his Hall of Fame voting stats here, because we know that his Hall of Fame is basically tied into his autograph value, 100%. 2017, he's about 54%. 2020, he's about 60%, 61%-ish. So he's gained about 1.75% each year. He's got 6 more years on the ballot. So that's going to put him at about 70% if he gains at the same exact value. Now, he's got to get to 75% to get in. So obviously, at that particular rate, he won't be getting in the Hall of Fame. Of course, he could always get voted in by a Veterans Committee. But, his relationship with the media has not always been great, so I don't know if that would happen. But either way you slice it, if you buy Barry Bonds autographs today, at a minimum, you're looking at probably 6 years before he gets into the Hall of Fame, okay? So 6 years, maybe longer if he doesn't get in on the direct vote and he gets in on the Veterans Committee. So you're looking at a long time to recoup your investment. Let's say you buy a baseball right now for $150. I mean, what's he going to sell for when he gets in the Hall of Fame? $250 maybe or so. So it's just not a huge uptick when he gets into the Hall of Fame. And it's just, my advice to you on Barry Bonds is only buy his autograph if you absolutely loved him as a player, not necessarily as an investment right now, okay? Now, as we get closer to the Hall of Fame and he gets up to maybe, let's say, 73% in year 7, and he's got a big shot of getting into the Hall of Fame the next year, then yeah, that would probably be a time I would maybe consider investing in Bonds. But as of right now, I think we're still at least 6 years out, maybe more. And right now, it's just not a very good investment for you, okay? In my opinion. With that being said, if you love Bonds and you are a huge Giants fan, absolutely 100%, you got to have his autograph in your collection. The guy, in my opinion, is a top 10 baseball player of all time. He had all the tools. If you're talking about genetics-wise, like Bonds had it all. Like he was born to play baseball. The guy just had a pedigree unlike anything else. I mean, obviously Bobby Bonds was his father. His godfather was Willie Mays. I mean, gosh, it's just the genetic line is just absolutely there. So, what would be the top 5 autographed Barry Bonds items that you want to have in your collection as of today? Okay, so number 5. Let's just go with a standard Major League Baseball. Now, I know you're saying, oh, it's nothing really flashy about that. Listen, if you've seen any of my videos, if you've seen the ones I've done on Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, all that stuff, the number one collectible item is autographed baseballs. It's what collectors want. They're easy to display, and they're usually one of the least expensive items on the market. Right now, you can get a nice Bonds baseball for about $150. Okay, JSA authenticated. Key with Bonds, though, is his like many athletes, his signature has changed over time. If you can find one of his older signatures, one of those nice BBS ones, those ones are really, really cool. Obviously, he's not signing like that today. He's got more of a full signature Barry Bonds. But I always like those vintage signatures. I think those are always, they're just cool with collectors because obviously they're not signing like that anymore. Number 4, and I mentioned his name previously here, is anything signed with Willie Mays. Anything dual signed with Willie Mays is a great option. Obviously, you're going to be looking at mainly baseballs and bats. I did see a baseball dual signed by both of them, and I believe it also had Andre Dawson on there too. That one was about $500 or so. So if you can find one with just them two on there, that is such a unique collectible, mainly because Willie Mays just is not signing anymore. Again, go back and watch my video on Willie Mays on what to get for him. But both these guys are in, of course, the 600 home run club. Bonds is in the 700 home run club, but Mays hit 660 home runs. They both played for the Giants, and of course, Mays is his godfather. So the connection there is absolutely undeniable, and getting those two on a ball would be absolutely fantastic. Heck, if you got one with Bobby Bonds on there too, which is super rare, that would be even cooler. So something to keep in mind when you're out there looking for a Barry Bonds autograph. Number 3 is another autographed baseball. This one is with the 73 home run inscription. Of course, Bonds obviously holds that record as of right now. I don't see anybody coming close to his 73 home runs anytime soon. This is a very, very unique collectible. I mean, really any Bonds ball with a nice inscription on there is something that you definitely should have in your collection. These run about $600, so they are a little pricey. But again, if I remember Bonds' last signing, which was probably 5 to 7 years ago, he was $400 to $500 an autograph, and inscriptions were maybe $200 or so, if I'm correct. So he was already expensive back then. So if you can find one now with the 73 home run or 762, definitely pick that up for your collection because inscriptions are just very, very rare on Barry Bonds. Item number 2 here, a Barry Bonds signed Giants jersey. These can be tough to find, and they can be expensive. They're looking at $1,000 plus. But like I said in the beginning, if Bonds is your guy, if you really like Barry Bonds, then you probably, like myself, you probably believe he's a top 10 player of all time. He should be on your wall in a framed jersey. 100%, no ifs, ands, or buts, okay? Is he the best Giants player of all time? I mean, people are going to debate with you with Willie Mays and whatnot. I would say he's definitely top 2, obviously, okay? And again, you got to get an officially licensed Bonds jersey. Find a nice quality one. You're going to have to get it framed, of course. That's going to cost you a couple $100 extra. But get a nice officially licensed jersey and putting that up on your wall. I mean, it's just going to be looking so cool, especially if Bonds is your favorite player. Number 1 is probably going to surprise you here a little bit. If you've watched any of my videos, you know I'm not too keen on these items. But it's a Barry Bonds autographed bat. Okay? Now, I personally don't like bats. For the main reason I don't like bats is and this is what I base pretty much all of my analysis off of, is what items do I get in and what sell the fastest, okay? And what sell the best. And for me, autographed bats just really aren't up that list at all. So my rationale is that customers really don't want this item too much, okay? They are a little bit kind of funky to display. You've got to get some sort of wall mountable case. You could display it on your desk here, but it's going to take up a whole bunch of room. And if I'm paying a premium autograph for an item, I want to get it on a jersey for baseball guys, okay? That's just me. I know a lot of collectors like autographed bats, especially game use bats. Game use bats, I totally get that. That's a whole nother category there. That makes sense to me, but just standard autographed bats aren't my thing. But Bond's this is his number one item for this particular reason. You can find authentic quality autographed bats right now for under $300. $300. Think about that. Bonds was obviously really great with the stick in his hand, and finding a premium item for that price, I mean, there's just that's called bang for your buck right there. Big bang for your buck. So that's why it's number one, is really because of its affordability on a premium item. And that's just a steal right there. I mean, if he gets into the Hall of Fame, okay, going back into the investment thing, if he gets into the Hall of Fame, autographed bats are going to be double that price for sure. Anything with the Hall of Fame inscription is going to be $750 plus. So if you were to invest in something, I mean, autographed bats are the way to go, just because it's a premium autograph, and it's way cheaper now than what his autograph is going to be if he gets into the Hall of Fame and does an autograph signing. 100%. So my advice to you, if you are going to pick up an item and you want to pick it up for your favorite player, but also maybe do a little bit of investment on the side, an autographed bat would be the way to go, and that's why it's my number one item. So hope you guys like that list. Hope you guys learned a little bit about Bonds and his investment and the type of items to get there. If you guys let me know in the comments below, did I miss something? What do you think about Barry Bonds getting in the Hall of Fame? I get this all the time on my social media page. People just absolutely hate him, and I don't get it personally. I mean, I don't understand why some athlete would bother you that much, but it does bother some people that much, which is kind of interesting. But again, does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? In my opinion, yes. A lot of people say no, and they have a valid argument with that too, but let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Again, visit the website. You guys can see some of the Barry Bonds stuff I have available there at powersportsmemorabilia.com. And also give me a follow over there on Instagram at Powers Autographs. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you on the next one.